There's a place where time moves in circles, not lines where the wind carries memory, and the fire never forgets where the earth breathes through the roots, and the smoke holds every name ever whispered into flame. Long before the rivers had names and the sky was split into stars, a single fire burned alone on a high open plain, surrounded by stones that leaned like sleeping guardians toward the center. The fire was not made. It had always been. The old ones said it came from the breath of the first dream, when the world still shimmered with possibility. Each night when the sky turned black and the animals held their breath, a woman would come to the fire. Her hair was silver as frost, braided with strands of bark and feather. Her steps made no sound, her back bent like a tree shaped by wind. She carried with her no words, only a bowl of cedar and sweetgrass and silence. She sat before the flame and fed it smoke and memory, and the fire listened. The woman's name was not known. Perhaps she had given it away to the smoke. Perhaps it had never been needed, for the fire knew her, and she knew the fire. One night during the final moon of the dying season, a boy wandered into the circle of stones. His clothes hung in shreds, his feet bled from the frost, his eyes were dark with forgetting, and his breath rattled like dry leaves. He had no name, or perhaps it had been taken by hunger and wind. He did not speak when he saw the fire. He did not ask. He only sat beside it. The woman did not look at him. She fed the flame as she always had, and the fire burned low and slow and deep. The boy closed his eyes and slept. He dreamt of a hawk with one black wing flying in circles above a forest of bone. He dreamt of water that moved backwards, pulling memories into the ground. He dreamt of a child made of ash, holding out a glowing coal with a voice that sounded like his own, but older, softer, wiser. In the dream, the child placed the coal into the boy's chest, and it sank without burning, and the boy awoke. The woman was still there. The fire still burned. The smoke rose in spirals. He stayed days past, or maybe moons, or maybe moments. The boy did not ask. He watched the fire, listened to the crack of embers, felt the pull of the smoke on his thoughts. Each night he dreamt a little deeper. Each morning he awoke changed. One night, the fire whispered louder. The smoke shifted. It rose and curled into shapes that were not shapes, shadows that were not shadows. The boy saw a bear rise from the flame, its fur made of coals, its eyes two distant stars. The bear stepped forward without sound and placed its forehead against the boy's. The fire flared white and the boy fell inward. He saw a valley filled with antlers and bones. He saw rivers run dry, not from drought but from silence. He saw people whose faces he knew but could not name, crying out in tongues that turned to dust. He saw a circle of children dancing around a flame that breathed in rhythm with the earth. He saw the fire forget. He woke with ash on his tongue and tears on his hands. The woman was gone. The fire was low, flickering only at the edges. He reached out and touched the coals. They pulsed softly like the heartbeat of something not yet born. He blew gently, and the flame rose again. The smoke twisted into a spiral, and within it the boy saw himself, not as he was, but as he had been, and as he might yet become. He did not speak. He listened. The fire spoke in memory, not sound. The smoke showed him the place he had come from, a house near a broken tree, a mother with eyes like autumn, a song sung over a sleeping child, a storm that scattered everything. He had wandered for so long he had forgotten he was not alone. The fire reminded him. Each night he sat before it, and each night the smoke curled around his thoughts, pulling from him the words he did not know. He carried. His silence became a song. The fire understood. The animals began to return. A fox sat near the edge of the circle. A raven called from the stones. A deer watched from the trees. All of them knew the boy was no longer empty. The fire grew brighter, not hotter. The smoke rose slower. It carried not only memory, but promise. One night, the boy stood. He had not stood many nights. He walked to the edge of the circle and looked out across the plain. The moon hung low and heavy. The trees whispered without wind. He turned back to the fire and saw the place the woman had sat. He sat there. He fed the fire cedar and sweetgrass in silence, and the fire remembered. The smoke that rose from the flame curled toward the stars. It carried the memory of the woman and the child and the boy and the fire itself. It rose high into the night and drifted into the breath of a world that still needed to remember. And from far away from another part of the circle of smoke, someone felt the warmth and turned toward it. This is only the beginning. The smoke remembers what we forget. Let the story return to you.